Welcome back to Farming Simulator 25, remote and off-grid on the homestead map. Okay, so we are in the 1st of May. Now, let's see here. We have... Alright, I still have market for my rice plants. So as usual, I'm going to start with... When does the wheat harvest? July. Okay, so I've got a little while till wheat harvest. I'm going to start off with my produce as usual. Alright, since last time I picked up the season pass, so I've got all the expansions again. There's been another patch to red tape. Let me take a look at that and see. Yeah, but the grant is still broken. Looks like I finally processed through all those sunflower seeds. Also, all the parts back from the processor now, so it turned out pretty well. In addition to that, I sold the last 2 piglets. So I did the only sensible thing. I went and bought more pig food. I expect I'll have more piglets again, probably around November. And I have been put on leave from my day job, not for anything I did, but for a situation around me. So I went through and picked out just about everything I don't absolutely need and list them for sale. the old farm truck, the Cub Cadet 6x4 High Country. Can't say I've ever used it for anything, but we had it. I don't think I'll ever buy another one again. I put my old Ford Fairmont up for sale. That's less than 100,000 miles. It's a genuine survivor. It's not a restoration. It hasn't been modified. It's not been LS swapped. I still got the original Ford 200 inline 6 engine with all the emission stuff still hooked up. It's been sitting here for a while, so it's really dirty. I'm gonna have to wash it. But I'm gonna try to get 5,000 for that. Yeah, it reads less than 100,000 on the odometer, and since there's no wear on the seat, the brake pedal and gas pedal are still in good shape. I think it's genuine mileage. It's usually a giveaway to something being over 100,000, even though it says less than 100,000, is there'll be a lot of wear on the pedals from driving it. My Fairmont doesn't have that. It's a kind of cool car, I like it, but I really need money to fix the problems I'm facing and get back to work. Otherwise, you know, I'm gonna have to just change jobs completely, you know, hide the situation and hope nobody finds out about it. Which, of course, since my current employer found out, the new employer will find out eventually. Yeah, well, might as well go ahead and say what the problem is. While my wife was sick, I bought some used hospital beds and handicap chairs, and they had bed bugs. So now I have bed bugs, and I'm looking at about $4,000 to get the house exterminated. And since me having bed bugs endangers everybody at work to also have bed bugs, you know, they put me on leave. So since I don't have any savings, I got to sell stuff to pay for it. Fortunately, the vehicles themselves, I don't have to worry about them being contaminated, since sitting in the sun with the windows rolled up naturally kills all the bed bugs inside the vehicles. which is the reason why it's never been a problem for me at work before, is because, well, I drive truck for a trucking company, and the truck sits all day with the windows rolled up in the sun, so it usually kills off all the bugs. But this year it's been so cold, we haven't had a good day to clean the truck when I wasn't in the truck all day. Now, since then, we've had a couple of hot days, and since nobody's driving the truck right now, I'm pretty sure that my work truck is completely fine again. But that don't matter. Yeah, so this is going to be a huge thing for me to deal with, because I basically have to empty out the house. A lot of antiques and family heirlooms are going to have to go. Just like my books, all of my books, I can't keep them because they're a perfect refuge for bed bugs. And while they're closed, the spray from the exterminators won't get inside. So the only way to preserve them would be to heat them. Alright, I'll see you at the shop. Okay, I'm back. So we're at 9,000. Let's see how much we make. Alright, so made 19,000. Alright, I gotta pick up my new combine today. Let's go take a look at it. It's got my wife's name, my lucky number. While it is technically a Kloss, it was sold through Ford. Great combine. Get myself nice and squared up. Alright. Enough playing around with the new equipment. The parsnip field seems to have developed weeds. So I will send the worker over with the New Holland and a hoe to take care of the weeds. Yeah, I'm a little bouncy up front. So I'm going to hook up the winch here to act as a counterweight. Yeah, that stabilized it nicely. Alright, it's working. I'll be back when I walk back to the pickup. Okay, the AI worker claims he completed his task. There's no way he completed his task that quickly. Alright. So let's, the beginning of the month, so I need to do watering and check on my new fields. Alright. Worker A has stopped unexpected. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to do that hoeing myself, apparently. There's just one small bit of weed in there. Alright. Both the rice fields are flooding now, so let's go hook up to my water tanker and take care of all my greenhouses. Oh, they're kicking out stuff pretty rapidly here, aren't they? Okay. Alright, I'll be back when all the watering is done. Alright, all the watering is done. Alright, I'm gonna cut out as I walk out to the tractor. Alright, here I am. I wonder if it was the front winch that was confusing the worker. Maybe I should just buy another weight. Alright, I'll be back when I'm done with the hoeing. Alright, the hoeing is done. That didn't take very long. Slow down so I can make that turn. Alright, take care of my normal maintenance. Now I can get to work on hauling home my new combine. I'll start off with the header trailer with the cutter header on it. If I wanted to be really smart, I could combine delivering wood chips with picking up the combine and headers, but I'm more eager just to have my new combine and headers home than to optimize my trips. Huh. Okay, that's awesome, really. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and fix this. There we go. Now the trailer's out of the way. Yeah, see, these are supposed to flip up to give you some additional width for wide loads, but they don't seem to be modeled to actually work. So, question is forwards or backwards? So I'm going to try forwards first. That way the header can hang over the tongue. I'll have to put it on here so that both front tires are just barely catching on the inside. Not as unrealistic as it feels. Okay, different plan. This obviously isn't going to work. This combine does 34 miles per hour. That seems kind of high. Not impossibly high, but it does seem kind of high. I don't know if you can hear him, but Tinley's trying to give Click a bath, and Click is objecting. All right. So, got the combine and the headers home. Have to go back and get my tractor. I think I need a bigger equipment trailer. Maybe I'll get a semi one since I have a semi-tractor now. No, combine won't fit on that trailer, but I know the pickup will. Alright, make stuff happen here. Go. Park this. About 45 minutes now, so that's not enough time to do a full nother day. I'm gonna go grab my winch and drag some trees into the wood chip factory. See if I can grab a couple of these over here. I really want to get rid of all these trees here on the north of the turnip field because they're blocking sun from the turnip field, or the south, I mean, excuse me, from the south of the turnip field because they're blocking sun from that field. So it looks like I got a lodgepole pine here that can come down. Some dead wood. This thing can stay. That's more annoying than Scotch pine, also not a very good tree. Alright. Yeah, playing with my microphone. Alright. For how big the lodgepole pine is, it really doesn't yield much wood mass. I guess it's really good for selling to like traditional lumber mills. But here for a chipper, I'm not so much interested in the shape of the log, I just want pure mass of wood. I have not seen any oak trees on this map. There's a few box elder, which when I can get a box elder, I'd definitely cut one of those down. Catalpa would be good too. Alright. Need to have about 18,000 liters of wood chips. That little tree right there is going to be in the way, isn't it? Little bastard. Let me see if I can pull this way and avoid that tree. See, I don't really want to cut these little trees down because they're useful for soil preservation and don't really interfere with the light to the field. But if I have to cut them down, I have to cut them down. And yeah, it looks like this one's just gonna have to go. At least it's small enough that I can just pick it up, put it over here. It's not really worth nothing, but at least it's not going to waste. Come on. Hey! Now I'm being clumsy with my keyboard again. Alright. About 10,000 now. Yeah, Manchurian red pine, if it's fully grown, is a great tree. Not as good as elk or box elder, but definitely better than anything else you're gonna find on this map. Alright. Actually, no. You can find box elder on this map, so. But it's definitely better than lodgepole pine. In fact, here's a box elder. It's not a full-grown one. There's a full-grown one right there. Alright. See, how are these laying? Trying to get them together. Alright. Okay. Get mounted up and away we go. Trying to stay out of the crop field. In Farming Simulator 25 you can drag drag logs through the crops all you want, won't matter, but kind of destroys the immersion. Alright. So, 13,000, so I need 5,000 more liters of wood chips. Yeah, I really find this tedious. There's good money in forestry, but man, is it tedious to do it. That's a beech tree. Of course, I knew them as kids, the initials trees, because the way their bark is, it's really conducive for people carving their initials into the tree. Of course, not really good for the tree, but people doing it don't care about that. Yeah, because making cuts in tree bark is like making cuts in your skin. It's not in and of itself fatal, but every time you make an opening in your skin, it's a chance for infection to get in. In real life, I would just grab one of the small branches, not, do a loop around, but yeah, from some mechanics for you. Fortunately, I'm not really taking these down the road anywhere, so just dragging them up to my own chipper is fine. If I had to, transport these down the road, they'd have to go onto a trailer. So about 16,000, so I need one more tree. I saw another immature box elder in there. I'll grab that one. That way I can just be done with it. Another thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is that in Farming Simulator, trees that come on the map will never advance. You know, so there's no leave it now to harvest a more mature tree later. It's what you see is what you get. R. R. Now pull this tree a little bit forward. There we go. Make this my thumbnail. There we go. Ah, 500 short. So I'm gonna need one more tree. It's very tempting to say, close enough, but I got people depending on my heating plant staying operational, so I can't, you know, just go, close enough. Alright, so that's wood chips taken care of. I'll have to haul those to the heating plant tomorrow. Well, the way I'm doing it works, but it definitely makes it clear why there are so many very expensive, very dedicated logging machines to make the job easier and less time consuming. about replacing the international pickup and getting a Ford. Alright, here we are. I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you very much for watching.